Hello my friends, this is Sylvie Curry, Lady of Q, and I'm once again in my kitchen. Today's project is going to be something real special. I am going to be prepping a half of a hog head to cook on the smoker, and then I may transfer to the oven and attempt to get the skin nice and crispy. Join me, okay? Let's do this. My hog head has been soaking in this water, for about 12 hours. I'm now going to drain this water. And show you what I got. This hog head was already cleaned, and if you know, a lot of times they'll have dirty ears. That's already been cleaned out. The skin has been scraped. I already did this, whereby removing any hairs that might be lingering around, because we don't want hairs in there. And the cleaning process is very important, because you don't want all those impurities that may be lurking around on your hog head. So as I mentioned before, this has already been cleaned, so it's done. This is a cross section of the hog head, and to give you perspective on it, this is the brain, squishy little brains in there. This is half of the tongue, teeth. Then we've got the cheeks, the jowl in this area over here, and that's where a lot of the meat's going to be coming from. And then we have little meat in other areas of this hog head. This is my brine mixture. And as I mentioned before, I've got about a half a cup of brown sugar, a cup of salt, and I'm going to be using about a gallon of water. Let's put our baby back in. Put her down in there. And that gallon did not cover this part, but that's okay because there's hardly any salt going to get in there anyway. It's the back side or the split side where we're going to have most of the brining take place and going through the mouth. And I'm going to let that set overnight in the refrigerator, and tomorrow we're going to get this baby on the smoker. My hog head has been brining overnight in the refrigerator. I'm going to drain it now. Then I'm going to take it out, dry it off, and we'll go on with the next step in processing this hog head. One way to get the skin crispy is to punch little holes in it. And I've got a sausage prick here, and I'm just going to go through and just prick the skin all over. My next step in processing this hog head is I'm going to inject it. And I've got here a solution that I use in competition for injecting my pork butts. It's a trade secret. Any pork injection that you have will work. You can even just use something like juices, like apple juice and things like that. Or you can use some of the solutions with a little bit of salt added, not a lot because you don't want it to be salty. And then we're going to go in and inject. I'm going to now season the cross section of this hog head, and I have a combination of some coarse red pepper powder and some sea salt, a 1-to-1 blend of it. And I'm just going to go through and season this area. Got a tray here with a cooling rack on it, and what I'm going to do is turn this hog head onto that tray, and then we'll go through the processing the face part. I'm going to wipe off that injection off of the front of the pig head, the face, because I want to try to keep it as dry as possible. And plus that injection has some sugar in it, so I'm trying to keep from having that residual sugar on the skin, which could lead to it burning easier. Now there's a couple of ways of drying out this pig head. It's preferable is to put it in the refrigerator uncovered all overnight, and that will dry it out. And if you don't have time to do it overnight, it's preferable to give it at least 6 to 8 hours to dry. If you don't have that much time, then my last recourse is, you guessed it, a hair dryer. And I'm going to put it on the cool setting, and we're just going to go over it and dry it as much as possible. I've got this hog head fairly dry. Now I'm going to take some vinegar. This is plain old white vinegar, and I'm going to coat the outside. And I'm going to let that set for a while. And we'll come back and we're going to salt the outside of my pig head. We're back with our half a hog head. And I had it in the refrigerator for a while. It was only a couple hours. Then I blow dried it a little bit more. But the next step that I want to do is I want to put salt on it. So I want to salt the whole outside of the skin. And salt, the purpose of it is to help in the christening process, because what that salt's doing is going to be drawing out more water from this head and giving it the ability to crisp up in the end of the cooking process. Now that we got our hog head salted, we're going to put it back in the refrigerator and pull it out later on, wipe off a lot of the moisture that's going to be drawn out of skin from the salt, and we'll get this baby on the smoker. My hog head has been salted for a while, and you can see the moisture that's been drawn out, especially around this ear. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab at it and try to get this paper towel to pick up as much moisture as it can. My theory here is that when I put it on the smoker, it's going to have a drying effect also. So next time you see us, we will be going on the smoker. Okay, here we go. I have a drip pan underneath there, so the hog's head can drip all this excess fat into that drip pan. So we'll let that bask in the smoke for a while, and we'll be back. Baby's been on for about an hour and 15 minutes. Darkening up here some, so I'm going to have to watch that carefully. But all in all, doing well. We'll come back and see what else we need to do to get her to get ready. $1:25. It's getting a little too dark, so I'm going to cover it up. Looking very good. I did spray it with some canola oil, and that's what's giving it the shine. And I'm going to put some foil over it so it doesn't get much darker than what it is. I'm going to let it go until it gets at least about a 165 in there. Then we'll take her inside. Just took the pig's head out of the smoker. Now I've got my oven temperature set for 460 degrees. I'm going to put it in there and we're going to see what we get. Okay? Hopefully we get that crispy thing. Just thought of something. I need to cover that ear. Here we go. I haven't cut into it yet. I'm going to let it rest for a couple of minutes and then we'll see what it's like. I'm going to cut off a little bit of this crispy part here. You hear that? That crispy, salty chicken brown flavor. Yum. One more place. Though that area has a little bit more char than the area that I first cut from, still damn good. Half a hog head smoked on the smoker, went for about 4.5 hours. Got it to a nice mahogany color, which next time I'm not going to get it as dark because once I put it in the broiler, it darkened up rather rapidly. Because of the shape, it broils unevenly, so I had to cover sections that browned or crisp more rapidly so that I could let other areas crisp up. But over and out, I think I did an okay job. Nothing left but to cut into it and get some of the meat. Hear that crunch?